Hey everybody, this is the Canadian Wolf bringing you another couple stories from the Entitled Parents subreddit. Let's get to it, Pack. Our first Entitled Parent story is Entitled Parent Wants Free Ski Boots for Her Kid. This happened to a coworker of mine during my winter job. A bit of context before I go into the story. During the winter of this year, 2019, I worked in a ski resort in Utah. The job was skier services. In that job, we stored skis and snowboards in a big storeroom, and when guests asked us, we would valet them to and from the ski lift. So in this storeroom, we only stored skis and snowboards, no boots nor helmets or other stuff. For that, we had a locker room nearby where the guests could get a free locker. In this locker room, there would normally be 2 or 3 staff members that would assign lockers to guests and manage any inconvenience they would have. We would also take boots back to the rental shop after they were done. This story happened in this locker room. The cast: F, my friend, coworker; EM, entitled mom; M, my manager. My friend was taking out some boots from a locker to return them to the shop when an entitled mother came up to her.
Excuse me, can I see those boots, please? I'm sorry, ma'am. Are these yours? 'Cause we just got a call to return them. No, I just saw them and want to see if they could fit my kid. I'm sorry, ma'am. I can't give these to you, as they are not yours. Please? I just want to see if they fit so that I can get similar ones. Well, okay. Just give them back to me when you're done. Thank you.
Entitled mom yanks the boots from my friend's hands. Entitled mom goes to her kid and tries the boots on, and they do not fit.
They don't fit. I'm gonna take them back to the shop and get them changed. I can't let you do that because those boots are someone else's and their reservation is up. Why can't I just take them? Well, because if you use them, they will charge the other family extra for not returning them on time. I don't see how that's my problem. My baby boy needs ski boots.
Entitled mother starts leaving the locker room with the ski boots in her hand.
Ma'am, you can't leave with those boots. They are not yours.
My friend goes to stop Entitled mother, and Entitled mother shoves her out of the way and leaves with the boots. My friend calls her manager and tells him about the situation and how the lady stole a pair of boots from someone else's locker. My manager manages to track down the lady, and a few minutes later, Entitled mother comes with my manager back to the locker room.
That's her! She is the one who is trying to steal my baby boy's boots!
Points to my friend. My manager to my friend. This guest says that you tried to take her kid's boots from her and denied her access to a locker.
Yes, she did, and she was super rude to me and made my kid cry.
My manager checks the boots and sees that they had the ski shop logo. Well, these boots are from the ski shop upstairs, so we'll check your reservation with them and just double check that they are yours.
Are you calling me a liar?
No, ma'am. It's just the only way to make sure that they are yours and you didn't get confused by accident.
I'm telling you they're mine. I rented them yesterday and just want to get them changed to a bigger size.
Well then, you won't have a problem with me checking then.
Can't you see they are my kids?
Ma'am, if I can't confirm that they are yours, I can't really give them back and would have to call the authorities.
Fine, have them. I'm gonna call your boss and tell them about how you harassed me.
Entitled mother throws the boots on the floor and storms off. She left and the next day came back with new boots and treated everyone like absolute crap. That whole family was completely bat crap crazy and gave us problems the whole 3 days they were there. I have another story about Entitled mother's mother if you guys want to hear about it. Thank you for listening to my story. Wow, well that entitled mother really tried to get some free ski boots for her kid. However, it could have been avoided had OP's friend just kept the boots to begin with. Should have returned them, not let another customer try them on or whatever. But anyways, let's move on to our second story. Let's go, Pack. Our second entitled parent story is They Come Unannounced, Take Stuff from My Fridge, End Up Consuming Breast Milk. So this happened about a year ago, and it has an ending that some might find gross, but satisfying. It's more of an entitled mother-in-law story. The characters are me, Magical Emu, Mill, entitled mother-in-law, BF, entitled mother-in-law's boyfriend. My husband is the most amazing man in the world, and I'm very lucky to have him. I can't say the same about his mom. About 2 years ago, we moved into our house, and what we didn't realize is that having extra bedrooms would be interpreted by entitled mother-in-law as an open invitation to come stay with us for days at a time, with her boyfriend, unannounced. And while I don't mind company, a phone call, text, email, or even smoke signals wouldn't hurt. At the time, I was still on maternity leave. My little boy was 6 months old, and we were introducing solid foods into his diet. Now, I'm in no way an organic-loving, all-natural hippie, but I was doing my best to make his food as healthy as possible. For that reason, I was mixing his food with breast milk. This is important for the story. For those of you who aren't moms, what I was doing was pumping breast milk and adding that to fruit instead of water, then putting it through a blender. Voila, healthy baby food. If any of you find it weird or gross, I did this under the recommendation of my pediatrician and nurse. It's perfectly sanitary, and no one else is meant to eat it but the baby who drinks breast milk anyways. So I get a call from the hubby telling me his mom would be over in 20 minutes with her boyfriend. We live in Melbourne. They live in Brisbane. If you're not familiar with Aussie geography, let's just say they had to catch a flight to come over. And yet, they still hadn't bothered to let us know. This was not the first time they'd done this, and my husband had already asked them multiple times to please call us if they were going to buy flights, in case we had our own plans. But she always said she shouldn't need to call ahead since she's his mother. I take a deep, annoyed breath, put the baby food I'd been making in the fridge, and put together a snack board as best as I could. So they arrive, I greet them, and the baby wakes up from his nap. I go to tend to baby and leave them with the cheese platter. A few minutes later, I come into the living room, and I see mother-in-law's boyfriend eating a cup of banana puree. Did you get that from the fridge? Yes. That's baby food. It's got breast milk in it. He gagged and spit out the food, onto my rug, mind you. Why the hell would you do that? Because it's made for my baby? No one else is meant to eat it but him.
Well, why wouldn't you label it?
Because it's in my fridge, in my house. This is a 3-person family home. We don't need to label our food. Also, funnily enough, my husband sees baby food and knows it's meant for the baby. It's banana puree in an Elmo cup. Who else could it be for?
Well, what about other guests? How will they know? Now my boyfriend has gone and eaten that disgusting thing because it wasn't labeled.
Other guests don't take stuff from my fridge without asking. They usually tell me they're coming too. Other guests see something that's obviously baby food in a house where there's a baby, and they know who it's meant for. Why do you think I put out cheese and deli meats for you, but not that?
I don't need to ask to do what I want here. This is my son's house.
That's where you're wrong. This is our house. This is our son's house. You can ask for things when you need them, or live with the consequences, because I'm not going to start labeling anything in my own damn fridge in case you decide to randomly drop in without telling anyone. Again.
I'm going to have a good long chat with my son about the madhouse you're keeping, and the disgusting things you expose guests to.
She called my husband right there, in front of me, on loudspeaker, and tells him what happened. He burst into laughter, and after 30 seconds of him just laughing his head off, she hung up the call.
We're leaving. I'm sure we can find a hotel with more sanitary food.
You do that. Just make sure the food actually belongs to you so you don't get a nasty surprise. They left without another word. Now, I wish I could say that was the end of that and they didn't show up unannounced again, but they've done it heaps of times since. They still plan trips to Melbourne and use my place as a hotel. They still buy flights and only tell us once they've landed and are on their way to the house. It doesn't matter how many times my husband tells her to tell us ahead, she feels she doesn't need to. In fact, the last time they did it, it turns out we were 4 hours away visiting friends, so they had to find an actual hotel to stay in. But at least now they think twice before taking stuff without asking. Update. So I told hubby that I posted this and it got a few laughs, but that there were a couple of ideas I liked. We've talked about it and determined, since baby number 2 is on the way, we're going to convert one room into a nursery, and the other into a playroom for the 2 kids. Great for me, since it means the toy mess will be limited to one room. He's going to call his mom today and just casually mention that we will no longer have any spare room for beds, since the study needs to remain an office for both of us. The beds have already been listed on Facebook Marketplace. Thanks everyone for letting me have my rant, and for the suggestions. Well, that sounds like some yummy banana puree. Well, seriously though, is it really that hard to ask before you take something out of somebody else's fridge? Or even let them know ahead of time that you're coming? I mean, you gotta book a flight. Come on, you can't tell me you can't make a phone call after you book the flight to let someone know you're gonna be there. Well everyone, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed these stories, and if so, make sure to hit that like button and go give the authors an upvote on Reddit. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you know when my next video comes out. This is a Canadian wolf saying, stay wild.